Okay, so let's look at what Goodman's solution to the problem that he identified is. So Goodman says that the predicate has to be entrenched. And if you look on the bottom of page 162 there, a predicate is entrenched if it has frequently and successfully been used in other inductions. So predicates that are well entrenched are projectable, and we can rely on them when we project them into the future. That is when we draw a conclusion about A's that we haven't seen, that they will have whatever predicate is we've chosen. Now, Appia talks about some problems with this solution, but actually using the example that I just gave you, we can think about some other problems. So here, of course, we don't want to draw this conclusion. All robin's eggs are lined up with the north-south axis, but it seems like our predicate lined up with the north-south axis is entrenched. Certainly can be used successfully in maybe not this argument, but other arguments. There certainly are other things where it's useful to say, or it's reasonable to say, that such and such is lined up with the north-south axis. So, for instance, the needle on a compass is lined up. Every needle on a compass that I've ever seen has lined up with the north-south axis. So on the basis of that, I could draw the conclusion all compass needles line up with the north-south axis. Perhaps some species of birds always migrate on the north-south axis, or all the ones that I've seen. So therefore, I can draw the conclusion all such birds of whatever species migrate on the north-south axis. Shadows at midday, the shortest shadow lines up with the north-south axis. Moss grows on the north-south axis. Okay, whatever it might be. So that's just another way of thinking about the problem of predicates being entrenched, and if that really solves the problem. But you can see for yourself on page 163 that Appia has perhaps raises some deeper objections to what Goodman is doing here. Now, lastly, just before I end this video, I'll go over this example that we have from Goodman. It's actually Goodman's example. So this is the one that Appia discusses at the top of page 162. And so here we have this new predicate, grew, and the idea is, so we define the predicate in this particular way. So grew is supposed to be a color, and if something is green before January 1st, 2100, or it's blue after January 1st, 2100, then it's grew. So consequently, we could put together either of these two arguments that we have here. So obviously this is the one we would be more inclined to put together because we're familiar with this predicate, but given the way we've defined the predicate grew, there's nothing wrong with putting together this argument here. It is the case, actually, now that we know what grew is, or now that we have this predicate, that every emerald we've ever seen has in fact been grew. And so we could draw this conclusion, all emeralds are grew. Of course, ignoring the predicate grew and using the predicate green, it is the case that every emerald we've ever seen has been green, and so we could just as well put together this generalization here. So either of these two could be a conclusion of an enumerative induction. And of course, after January 1st, 2100, one of these conclusions is going to be shown to be false. And so the question is, which of our two enumerative inductions is the better one? Or which, I mean, of course, we know that this one is, or the one that uses green is, but the problem is, what principled reason do we have for saying that this is the better argument, this is the better enumerative induction? And so that's why Goodman says that green is entrenched while grew is not.